Welcome back on into the LCS Challengers League. I am Mazel. I'm joined by Cubby, still in my house, and I've got Magical on the line here as well.
Yet?
I haven't kicked him out. He locked me out of my room last time, so
I did.
He locked you out of your room. Kick him out. Push him out.
I'm trying to take over. You know, while we don't have internet, things happen. You know,
things happen.
Yeah, things change.
What did we come out? Is it Mubby still?
I've been pushed to the brink. You know,
Mubby is taking over. But we do gotta talk a little bit about what else we have going on today. We have had a bit of an interesting day, to say the least. We had the 1-1 split between Dignitas and TLC, but now we have EGC versus Golden Guardians Challengers. And I think when you're looking at both these teams, and especially Evil Geniuses, and looking at yesterday, you do have some questions that arise for sure.
I think EG is still a team that we have high hopes for, high expectations for, but it is a team we're still looking to kind of come together. And I know they're still missing King. Mobility has improved a lot, but we had high expectations for EG. We feel like they haven't really hit them yet, this split. And over on the side of Golden Guardians, we didn't have as high of expectations, but they've really been impressing us.
Yeah, and I think Magical, especially putting the shine light on Shaden, but as well as that kind of triple threat that we have between Soul, Shaden, and Ryoma.
Yeah, because Soul, we look at Shaden, we look at Ryoma, they have been playing very well. Soul was another one of these threats that we looked at the team that we were expecting really great things of. This is his second year, technically, here in Academy/Challengers League. And we're expecting him to be one of these top-of-the-table top laners. But he has had a little bit of a hiccup when it comes to how he's played this year. And we do want to see him really level that gameplay up to the level we know that he is capable of.
And when we see him and Shaden connect to each other, it's so insane. But we got to look at their opponents across the board, where you have a similar story, I would say, for Concept. He's been more willing to bring back out his Garen, and we're seeing a little bit more of something giving in that top side of the map. But Concept does have something to prove, it feels like, against Soul, and Young himself wanting to continue to be this mainstay for Golden Guardians.
Well, when you look at Concept, you look at Soul, these two are friends. Soul has talked about, and I'll talk about this a lot, Soul talks about how he used to watch Concept streams and learned a lot of how to play top lane through Concept, especially when you look at like the shared champion pool, because Concept has a very unique style that he likes to play, and Soul has kind of tried to do the same thing, be more of a weak side top laner, but unfortunately, we have seen some of those hiccups.
And I think for Soul, a lot of it's been just in lane. Him and Concept are sitting towards the bottom of the table in terms of our top laners in gold diff at 15. We've seen him get solo kill, but I still think Soul's having a really good impact in fights. I love the way that this guy is able to pull the trigger. I think that he finds really good angles and is definitely a playmaker for EG. It's just, can he continue to be a little bit more consistent and make sure he's getting there? And I gotta say, Soul yesterday, I know it hasn't been the strongest split for Soul, but he did have 2 solo kills against Bradley, one in each game, which again, that's a huge step for Soul. And I think that the better that he lanes, the more that he's able to get through those parts of the game. We know he's good at the other parts, so definitely something that's really good to see. That
is very, very true. And I think on the other side, when you're looking at Golden Guardians, you do have to point out some of those bright points as well for Concept and the squad. Magical.
On Concept, I feel like the reason we've seen him struggle into his sophomore year a little bit more is due to the champion restrictions that he has on himself, because he has a very unique style. He tends to play a lot more of the stat checkers. So when he gets champs like Olaf, even his Garen, that's when we tend to see him look a lot stronger. We think back to last year when he really had those pop-off plays. It was on Mundo, which is weird to say you have pop-off plays on Mundo, but those were those champions that he played very well because he's a good frontline. He knows how to position himself in front of his team to set up the rest of his team to carry.
And I think that for Concept, we have seen him make strides in his champion pool. But I also know that, like, from talking with GG, like, when it was Cassante Jax meta, that's not Concept's meta.
Yeah.
And I think that we have seen the meta get a little bit closer to where we can see Concept succeed, because it's not just, the stat-checking champions that he can play. I want to give him credit. Like, he has made great strides to try and pick up Gnar. And it definitely is a champ that, he's proven that he can actually play at this level. That wasn't the case when Concept started as a rookie, so I like to see him expand the champ pool, but also love seeing the Concept picks that we really know him for.
Yeah, that man can swing weapons.
Renekton was one at the beginning of the split that he tried to.
Still needs work on Renekton.
He's trying to pick up things. I'm trying to say he's trying to pick up things.
I've seen it with the swords and the axes. That man's doing good, all right? I'm results-based analysis style over here, all right? But I do really like kind of that focus, especially, and seeing what they can truly bring to the table here in a matchup that it feels like is very similar in terms of stories and trying to see what they can prove in this last little ditch effort here in our Challenger Derby. But that is our stakes, at least for the game. We are ready for the draft to get underway, so we're going to kick off our last series of the day. We got some more movie magic, of course.
Cubby, say a magic spell to get rid of him. Oh.
No, I can't do that, man. I don't want to get rid of Mazel. It's
we had to get rid of him for the cast so that it's just me and you.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm never leaving Magical.
Yeah, he's going to be back. I am the one intruding, even if I have tried to take over. Once my internet gets back, I'm Audi 5000 and this is over.
All right, that's fair.
That's actually not true.
The arrangement the arrangement will end, but you know what?
I've enjoyed myself greatly.
I love talking about you, but we got to talk about the games because we got a lot of focus here on the bot lane. Feels like Draven, Caitlyn, Ashe, these bans have been typical throughout every single one of our drafts today.
I mean, curious to see Array picking up a Draven ban. Again, I think that for Array, that's a big step forward for him. Just given the fact that he wasn't someone that I would consider lane dominant, but the fact that Array is drawing a ban here, that says a lot, and I'm really curious now to see if EG... Zeri Lulu's up. I've been really preferring that side of the handshake, but EG, they're going to take that Sejuani, which is so unique to them, not only because Shaden, of course, can play it, but it's a flex. Soul Sejuani is really good on the top side.
Right, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up because how interesting it is to see the flex of Sejuani not necessarily having to have that for Shaden, because when we look at Shaden, that's not really his playstyle, right? We tend to see him play more of the carries. People think about his highlight plays, especially his Graves being one of his best champions, but it has been the meta of Sejuani, Maokai, even Elise has been here, Vi, Wukong, not really the things that when you think Shaden pop up to your mind. And so now having that flexibility for the team, even if Maokai's on the other side and you probably want to put the Sejuani up against Maokai, there's always that potential in the back of your mind if you're GGC that could be changed around.
And EG has a lot of options now in draft because of that. As okay, we actually see... Oh, I love this coming out of EG. We have a Lulu deny from Zeri and also the Jinx being picked up. This is a champion that can outrange Zeri, give her some headaches at not only the early but also later stages of the game. And we'll see if EG can build a front line now around this Jinx to really help make sure she gets that first reset. As I really like to deny, and some creative drafting coming out from EG denying Zeri that Lulu.
I like that. I like that change that we have for the team, especially because we do have a change in coaches for EGC as well.
No.
Getting something that makes it a little bit more difficult for Ray and Prismal in the spot lane, since the Zeri Lulu has been something they've been piloting a lot in this season so far.
Now, of course, we have bot lanes and junglers showing. Really like the Silas ban coming out. You're showing a Maokai plus Nautilus ult, and I feel like Ryoma has earned that ban with some of his... the one Silas game he was able to pick up, he did hard carry against 100 Thieves. So, that said, curious now what ends up happening with Akali. If I see an Akali ban, I'm going to expect to see an Azir pick here for Young. It hasn't been Young's strongest or go-to champ, but it definitely is one that Young's proven that he can play, and it's still very high priority right now in the meta.
Then also you have to look at the top lane. I bring up Sion again, mostly because both Concept and Soul do like to play that champion. So if you grab Azir, I'd expect it's a handshake for Sion on the other side, but Azir actually getting banned away by EGC.
I like that. We're on the same page with the read. Now, if you go for Sion here, I actually don't like that because then you give Cho'Gath. Cho'Gath gets to play into Maokai, Sion, and Nautilus. That's really, really big for Cho'Gath and might be worth putting Shaden on the Sejuani for. So we will see if that's the call here for Golden Guardians.
Holding on to that pick. I do like that call, though, there, Cubby, that even
play
with that
Cho'Gath.
Sion
Please, for the love of God.
Cho'Gath is a great pick here for Soul.
It's so good here.
I agree. Once you said that, I'm like, yeah, I forgot the Cho'Gath. We saw it last time, and it works really well into this.
Just play Cho'Gath, Victor, and profit. Like that's the game right now for EG. Just buy the space. Now, other option, of course. Okay, so it will actually be the Gwen. I do like the Gwen too, even if I'm a big Cho'Gath fan. I feel like Gwen brings some magic damage, brings some synergy with the Sejuani, and then actually the Tristana here for Ryoma. We'll see if he can continue to play with this. He has had 2 plays on it. You can see him get the prio, but I gotta say, I'm still bummed there's not Cho'Gath.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of bummed too. The Gwen, it works into Sion, right? We were talking about this before, way back at the beginning of the day when we first saw Sion. You're like, Gwen could be played. The Cho'Gath is just a lot more fun. But speaking of fun, Young pulling out Aurelia against Ryoma.
Young's Aurelia, it's 1-1 in this league in 2 plays, but it is a champion that Young's always been able to pilot, is never scared of. And, for Young, this does give Golden Guardians, if they want to play through mid, you have a Nautilus versus a Lulu, so we'll have Roam on mid. Definitely going to keep my eyes onto Ryoma to see if he can navigate around the roams we're going to see from Prismal. Because that Aurelia, if it is able to get ahead, you can beat Gwen at the side lane too. So I think it's going to be a really big pick for Golden Guardians. See if that Aurelia can get off the ground and get moving, because it can break the game, giving Golden Guardians a winning side lane to play through.
I feel like in this game, we look at EGC. We talked about Soul and how Lennon kind of mentioned it, the triple threat we've seen from the top side of the map for EGC. This really does put more of the onus onto Soul to be more of a proactive carry for the team, someone that can really bring up their weight than having to go up against Concept on Scion. This is your friend, someone you've learned a lot. There's got to be a little bit of that friendly rivalry going on between the two of you.
And I do have to highlight that I think that Gwen is Soul's best champion that we've seen, even from his time with Anime Girl. Okay, hold on.
What a flash from Prismal! Ryoma has to flash as well. I like that play from Prismal.
I think that we also had Ryoma start W. If we could have an observer maybe click onto Ryoma.
Let's see.
I think the W was canceled there on the second half of the Dredge line, because that is a big deal in the matchup against Aurelia. And we already talked about, this is a mid lane matchup where we expect to see pressure from Golden Guardians. Now that Ryoma's down a flash, it takes away a lot of not only his early power, but his ability to escape if we have a Maokai plus Nautilus gank.
Waiting to see, when they hover over Tristana.
Yeah, can we get a click on the Tristana, please, observers, if we are listening? I'd love to see if she started W. That does have a big impact on the lane matchup.
Waiting it out.
See, Soul's... Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, nice read there, Cubby. Well done, well done.
Well, it's going to be tricky now, as... Okay. Ryoma is going to get some freebies here. That's real nice.
I like that play from Ryoma.
Yeah, it's really good.
All right. You're like, W start, that's gotta suck. And then he goes and half-healths Young the moment he shows mid.
Yeah, if Young walks the lane there standard, you don't open up to that trade, but unfortunately Young went for the ward on the Raptors, and Ryoma punished, so good pick up from him. That said, Rosethorn, he's going to go for the AoE camp clear, as we do have Shaden working his way down. We'll see if Shaden reverse clears, or if we see a play we made towards this Zeri plus Nautilus lane, which will take some time to get going. We have seen Prismal have some nice engages on the Nautilus. I think he's been really sound at playing it. But it is worth highlighting here that it is a lane that can be punished by the Lulu and the Jinx early. You have a big range advantage on both the Zeri and the Naut.
Already seeing that as well. Mobility Smoothie getting the upper hand initially in the CS. Gonna have level 2 experience lead over them as well. We'll keep a raised Prismal pinned back behind their turret, at least for some time.
Yeah,
there's a lot
Shaden.
of leeway to Shaden as... Look at how he's pathing. He's pinging down towards blue buff. Looking to have that power from bot lane, but also from mid lane. Because Ryoma, having gotten that big shove against Young early, has a little bit of control back to possibly rotate and help out defend this invade.
And he's going to go try and find the Maokai, because Maokai's not on the blue. Instead, Maokai's going to be on the Wolves. Shaden's going to go on up as he does find pull the sapling. And with Tristana here, we'll see how frisky Rosethorn wants to get.
Rosethorn's got to be careful because you can already tell bot lane too. Rotating up would be a big fight that you're going for. Ryoma spotting out Young. Smite secured. Oh, Rosethorn actually secures that away. Hex Flash. Oh no, Prismal didn't go over the wall. So they'll just take that. They make sure the steal wasn't there. Rosethorn does get his blue.
That's big. Rosethorn's up 2 camps now, and Shaden's relegated to going towards his top side. So this Maokai's ahead early. That's not supposed to happen in this matchup. Sejuani did have the lane priority. Nice snag from Rosethorn against Shaden. Make sure that Maokai is able to escape out of the early game.
Said a lot. Pretty much saying thank you for the leash, Shaden. I'll take that. Back out of there. I'm going to give Rosethorn a lot of credit in this season as well. It feels like almost every single time there's like a smite fight, he tends to win out.
He's got a level.
Yeah, he's got a level in bot lane. Prismal's walking up towards mobility, but wasn't able to get the auto attack. Prismal had to use the Spider-Man away. They're looking for mobility, but it cleansed away from the Twisted Advance. But the slow is that's not connecting. A lot of summoners burn on both sides. Pulling back in Shaden as well. First blood picked up by Rosethorn.
Shaden goes too far. Prismal finds the punish on the Dredge line. That was a funky fight, I gotta say, as Rosethorn had the level advantage, but he had to get out of there rather fast. Shaden just sticks around too long, ends up being punished. Really well done.
A surprise to see that. It's now top lane. We get a little bit of action between the two. Soul and Concept hitting each other low on mana as well. Waiting for that snip damage to cut through as Concept is ready for this Rumble. Looking for the smash. It's the slow, but the level up for Soul does save him as Concept doesn't want to go any further.
He is going to pull the wave, though, and we'll see what Soul wants to do, as Rosethorn will be spotted on the Krugs if he does choose to do that next. We are going to get a replay, though. Start of the fight. I mean, it's pretty good for EG. They get a big trade onto the Knot. But the flash forward from Shaden, he doesn't have the Q up yet. And then when he goes forward, or I should say he doesn't choose to go forward, he gets yoinked on in, and it's a nice one-shot coming out from Golden Guardians. So down a level, gets frisky, gets punished, and Rosethorn very far ahead in this jungle matchup where, again, we were not supposed to be ahead of this part of the game as the Maokai. We've seen the Sejuani really be able to pressure Maokais. Rosethorn is ahead. That's a big deal.
Looking great on Maokai so far as Ryoma getting visited by Prismal, but this time he's like, all right, I got a lot of safety this time around. I'm not letting you buffer rocket jump out of here. Let me recall and buy some items.
Still an annoying recall, as that might actually get the TP out of Ryoma. I think if Ryoma is able to clean the reset, he actually walks back without using TP, which is a big deal for the Tristana, so Prismal's able to find something with that Dredge line. And with that being used, we'll have Dragon pulled. I will say this is curious to me, as Tristana does have level 6 and wins out against Aurelia at the moment.
No, Young, I do like that he plays aggressively initially, saying we're looking for that. We have bot lane pressure and priority already. Yeah. So I got to play aggressively on Ryoma to deny him from rotating early, so that their bot lane has to show there, and we get the Dragon.
All right, Soul. We're getting real frisky here. He's able to get a point, walk out without taking too much. Okay, I like that, Soul. He knows that Dragon's being taken. He can afford the step up. He also gets the flank on the back half. Well done. There's a trade across the map. Golden Guardians getting that first Dragon. Gonna feel good.
Feels good, and it's only traded for a single solitary plate in the top lane. Not really losing too much for Golden Guardians. You got to feel confident with how this early game has gone for Golden Guardians and where they can utilize some of this pressure. Looking at Rosethorn still, and how he plays against Shaden. Shaden has been the talk of the town when it comes to a lot of jungles, but Rosethorn is a player who's on this redemption arc from before, when he played back before on CLG Academy, getting dropped, and now back here on Golden Guardians Challengers. This player has done a good job of really building up this team around him and how he can set everyone else up.
I mean, I think it says a lot that, some of his former teammates from his time when he was on Golden Guardians, like Prismal, were really excited to play with Rosethorn again. It just brings really good energy to the building. I know it's actually good friends with the now head coach of EG Challengers as well, and Ido. So it's kind of a fun matchup for these two, going up against each other as Ryoma finds a nice buffer. And Young land a nice trade here on the Aurelia. As important for this match that Aurelia is ahead again. She can really break the game through the side lanes here against EG. And that is another way that GG can try and get some control and some gold back.
EG are struggling on the map themselves. Golden Guardians, slow, methodical. They don't really need to look for these plays because, as you mentioned, you have Aurelia. You're going to have that side lane pressure at all times, even if it's up against Gwen. Your EG, Shaden's got to have a play somewhere. Something that works out well. Bot lane is always an option because the Jinx, you get a Jinx, a couple kills early on. The scaling she has as a hyper scaling champion is always nice. But you also want to make sure you're not threatened by that side lane that Young will eventually provide.
Well, I think it's all going to come down to the Herald. And we do see Prismal. He's fogged at the moment. So he's bluffing like he's walking up as he is staying bot. He will have the fast track as he does have the crabs. We'll see if they actually go for a pick onto the Lulu, as it looks like EG, knowing that Golden Guardians, the Scion, very strong at the moment. They need the Gwen to scale. They decide not to take this Rift Herald. Instead, will be a trade bot.
Item crash for the damage with the cleanse as well. Getting a little bit of damage back on mobility and on Smoothie. But Array takes a lot himself as Dole.
Oh, we're getting funky.
Inside of the brush, looking for the fight, but they've got a lot of damage onto Shaden. Not very tanky. Needlework not doing anything, even with the Glacial Prison. With the double knockup onto Ryoma, bounced around for Rosethorn to pick up the kill, even though bot lane mobility was able to get the kill onto Ray. Globally, it's a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm really surprised that EG actually contested that Herald, as Scion's so strong right now. You just do not have items on the Trist to do anything. EG get punished on that side, but on the bot side, Mobility and Smoothie, that's a big kill to pick up onto Array as Prismal and Array overplay their hand.
Yeah, I'd like to see a replay of exactly what happened there in that bot lane. It is only a silver lining, though, for EG. They lose out on Rift Herald, picked up by Rosethorn, as well as another kill. So here we go. Yeah. This is that replay of the bot lane.
And it's silver lining, but this is also where the gold matters. If you can get gold on Jinx, it's big. So it's about where we looked away as Array just able to keep on attacking the wave, trying to keep that R going. And then on the back half, oh, Prismal ding 6. What happened here? Oh, Polymorph again.
Oh, Polymorph Gaming.
Nice. Well done. Really well played here by Mobility. I love the fact that he held the rocket until that Polymorph came out from Array. Was able to flash away. He gets executed and overplaying their hand on the bot side. Good punish.
The new cleanse was gone too, because that had been used on the previous Polymorph.
Yep.
So it was a perfect play from Mobility Smoothie. Getting that kill for Mobility. As you mentioned, it is gold into the prop pockets that EG do need. But you got to make sure you're not hemorrhaging out leads on the other side of the map. Because Maokai, with 2 kills, Maokai getting the gold isn't really worth it. But he is the AP carry, the poke damage that Golden Guardians are going to rely on.
Yeah, now the good news for EG is that they do have scaling options in the Gwen. Like, this Gwen will be very scary later in the game. I know that Aurelia can deal with it in the side lane, but Gwen team fighting is another beast that GG will have a lot of trouble with. So, again, that's why I was surprised that EG fought the Herald, because Sion is so much stronger at this point of the game. And we'll have to see just how much Soul can get done on this Gwen. Again, I think it's his best champion. You're going to get things done.
Just Grasp.
Yeah.
Body blocked by Shaden. We're probably going to have to sacrifice Shaden. Put down the grenades. There's no real reason to try to save him. Even with the flash over, the flash, nicely done from Shaden. Saves himself.
You can see Golden Guardians were trying to body block him from getting to that small part of the wall. He's able to get it. Flash traded. A lot of tools actually taken away from GG. A couple ults there. Gonna get Ryoma plate. Not bad. So EG weathered the storm a little bit. That's something good for them.
Hey, keep the gold within 1,000. Not really falling too far behind. Getting proper members with the gold as well. This goes back to that whole triple threat comp for EG. Even if it's not Shaden, it is Mobility that's taking up that. What's up?
Shaden was coming out of base. Okay, EG's not going to look. There were a couple ults down for Golden Guardians, so they get Shaden's flash, and they are able to get at least something in terms of the dragon. That is nice. So GG is stacking up those 2 dragons, so they can continue as Young.
Young's fine. Look how fancy his feet are there.
He's slick.
And now with Prismal, Rosethorn both hanging out, threatening to dive. Ryoma's like, yeah, no, I know what's happening. I put the ward over there initially to make sure that I can't get dove.
He's got TP, he's fine. So still quiet map at the moment. Gotta say that once Aurelia gets Bork, she will be pretty damn scary, and that Herald going down gonna help Aurelia get some more gold as GG continues to funnel Young.
More gold into the Aurelia. Will be a threat later on, as we talked about, as Prismal did miss.
That's a little aggressive.
Okay, he'll die for his sins. He'll die for his sins.
That's a one-way trip. Okay, well, you know, Prismal. Nautilus, you know, living down under. Living under 2 turrets there. How'd I do, Matt Magical?
Not bad, not bad. I was actually trying to think of a clever retort, and I couldn't think of something. Well done.
Oh, excellent. All right, well, Prismal's going to want that one back. That said, a little bit of gold going over to Ryoma. It still is a plate crash, so it's not like GG get nothing. We can kind of ignore that one. But gold over to EG again. It's important on the Tristana, who, of course, has been a bit behind in this lane.
Still a bit behind, especially now that Blade of the Rune King has been completed.
Yeah, that's scary.
By Young. That'll make it much more difficult for Ryoma to even step up against Young. Almost.
Yordle beats Blades. I don't know. Able to sneak out. It is a completed item, though, for Young, and none for Ryoma, so mid-prio still going over to the side of Golden Guardians, and honestly, we'll have to see what happens with the next dragon in this game. I think the dragon is really tough for EG to take and contest, and definitely one that's going to be difficult. I mean, you're going up against Aurelia, who's going to have push in the side lane. You have to walk into Maokai, all the saplings, and Sion early in this game is going to be very strong. So I feel like EG is doing a lot of good things to hit, or GG, I should say, doing a lot of good things to hit their win cons.
At the moment, there isn't really much for them to play around. Still about 3 minutes until the next dragon does spawn. So while they wait, gaining control, trying to see if they can slowly suffocate some of these members, get them out of lane, such as
Young's going to do it again.
Leads for a range spot lane.
Yeah.
Anytime Ryoma shows up mid, Young's probably going to look for some chip damage onto Ryoma, threaten a potential dive.
You can see what's happening. Oh, hold on. Mobility.
Okay. Mobility had to flash away with the Wild
Yeah.
Growth as well. Body block from Shaden. Should be fine. Just fishing at the moment for Golden Guardians. Like I said, there isn't really much for them to play around. So they might as well see who ventures outside of the safety of their turrets, the vision that they have, because you can see how little EGC have the moment that has been grabbed up by Golden Guardians. So all they have to do is look for those little plays, fish for these members, so they can slowly but surely get more and more leads.
I do really like how Golden Guardians were playing this, though, because you can see the priority that Young had mid, just sitting on the Bork right now and being as strong as he is on Aurelia, and then Rosethorn just bouncing between mid and bot, and made sure that EG is actually going to be late on the reset and late on the play to the second Herald, as GG are going to rotate their pressure up here. And we'll see if EG wants to contest again. I really don't think they're at the spot to do so. I think they need to wait on Mythics coming in for both the Tristana and the Gwen. There should be no contest.
Yeah, look at that. He's bot lane. There's no way.
Good understanding from EG. Yeah. No other choice for them at the moment. Golden Guardians continue to play this out rather cleanly. Good to see from them.
Pretty nice from GGC as EG at least get some damage onto that tier 1 bot lane, but the moment Young shows up, nobody can compete against Aurelia inside lane at this point.
Not solo.
Not solo. I think it's even going to be difficult with 2 at this point.
Yeah, that is the curveball that Aurelia throws in a lot of the game plans here, as Jaden will be able to pick up that Raptor, but we'll see a contest here for the red. Young doesn't have Shove. Ryama's going to stick around again, still does not have the Mythic.
It's 40 seconds until that dragon spawns.
Dive.
This play is perfectly timed. You kill Ryoma before he can go anywhere. Make sure that he is locked down underneath this turret forever and a half.
Wow.
So Young gets a kill with only 30 seconds left till the dragon. Beautifully played from GGC.
It is well played. I will say Rosethorn does have to base. Oh, Jinx ult. Oh, Herald. Herald recall got him out. Oh my goodness. The empowered Herald recall actually got Rosethorn out of there. Good attack from mobility, but that could just be the next dragon going over to the side of GG. Ryoma doesn't have TP when he's back in the map, so I don't think EG has any choice. They have to see this one again. It is Cloud Soul on the map, so not the worst draw in the world if you are EG staring down a Soul point, but not ideal.
They are calling Soul down. EGC don't want to let this go too easily.
Oh, they're blitzing this.
They've got members, and with Rosethorn having path towards the top half of the map, they aren't looking to contest this. They don't care really that much about Cloud Soul. So they'll forfeit the third dragon over to EGC, possibly get themselves more damage onto these structures, both top and mid.
Concept gets this turret, and its waves being lost to EG, but I think denying Soul is still okay. Because again, EG, their comp, it's not like we love them over time. I think the GG has a lot of scaling elements that can match, but EG scales nicely, and I mean, especially looking at the Gwen.
Both teams scale pretty well.
Yeah. I'm just really looking at the Gwen. I think Gwen's going to be the big difference in this game. Kind of like how the Aurelia, like if she's able to win sides and be the difference maker, just make sure that GG always has a lane they can play through. Gwen can really throw a wrench in these team fights. And I want to see if Soul, again, is able to have the impact that we've seen from him at moments. I think that Gwen's his best chance that we've seen from him in his career. It's a really good match for Gwen. He's doing okay so far in the laning phase, and we'll see if Soul's able to make some plays as this game continues.
Everyone's grouping down to the bottom. You have the Rift Herald already popped. Should get more gold for Young, but Ryoma is answering in the top half of the map. It is Tristana, good wrecking crew herself, taking down structures, but a second charge from Shelly.
EG can't
could be
fight.
Bad.
Yeah, they
EG
still
cannot fight over this. Look at that. Using everything with the TP coming in as well. They've got the root onto Shaden. They bounced him around. They're looking for the backline on a mobility, but he's cutting back the best he can. They've got
Jinx
on top of him. Jinx is gone. They don't have the carry anymore as Young takes up a lot of damage from Ryoma, but they got the kill they needed to. Reset could be
Ryoma
diving under these turrets. Concept still wants this. Array,
still going.
what is he doing? Array is in the base, and he's taking everybody as they look to open up the bot lane.
Jinx had no flash, and Concept was able to find Jinx in the backline. So Ryoma put down as much damage as he could, but Sejuani was eliminated immediately. And we kept on saying, EG, they can't fight right now. They don't have the power behind their champs. Golden Guardians, what a power play with that Rift Herald, as they got 3 crashes, 2 turrets. And we take another look. And Shaden, he eats the ult, tanks it up, he dies immediately. But look at that, mobility, barely caught by the root, enables Prismal to actually find the depth charge, then Concept able to find the choo-choo train onto that Jinx. That doesn't feel good. Ryoma does the best that he can to trade out, but it's not enough. As Rage is running behind Concept, he's chilling.
I said before, Concept, when he gets a lot of these stat checks, you know, the big beefy boys where you get to stand in front of everybody, he knows exactly what he needs to do to set up the rest of his team. He stands in front of Array the whole time and said, Array, just follow me. It's okay, my son, you get the kills.
And look at the game now. It's not even a mythic completed yet for Shade, and we're almost 20 minutes in. It's 2 items for Rosethorn on the solo magic damage Maokai. As the Leandres is done, this poke's going to hurt real bad for EG. They can seed the next dragon, but at the moment, you don't really have a lane to play through given how strong Young is. And EG are just relegated to really pick up farm and try to scale as the map is still all Golden Guardians.
Golden Guardians as a team kind of have been one of these unknown factors, maybe more of a dark horse that we've had throughout Challengers. A team that not everyone really put high in their standings. They didn't really think that this team was going to be a team contesting for the top, right? For the top 6 teams. And yet here they are, 15-7. They're right behind just a single game. Single game behind both Wildcard and Cincinnati Fear. Picking up a 2-0 here would put them above both teams, which would essentially put them, I think, at 4th place. Or third place in the standings, which would surprise a lot of people, especially when we talk about them at the very beginning of the split, how not many people had faith in them.
I mean, one of the pleasant surprises really has been Young. I had high expectations for Young. He's been better than what I thought. Okay, hold on. Soul might be caught.
Using needlework to try to heal up. The 5 members are here.
Yeah,
there's not much you can do.
Oh, okay.
Ups over the wall. That is the nice thing about Gwen. Now, a lot had been used before to try to get on top of him.
Watch
but Shaden's going to be the one with all the attention on top of him yet again. He is like paper.
Mobility.
He cut through. Mobility and Ryoma back underneath their turret. A Soul, he was the initial one that looked caught out, but he is still alive. Looking for the damage for the triple threats of EGC, but they cannot continue to chase.
Yeah, they found the Lulu as Smoothie was blown up, and those kills, jungle off the bat, or off the board, I should say. GG just take another Baron, and I think that one of the biggest surprises of Golden Guardians this year has been Young as a rookie, but also how Array and Prismal have really developed in their second year. For Array just playing in the league, and Prismal's second year playing support, as this bot lane is one that really is one to look out for. I know we've spent a lot talking about bot lanes, given that it's the meta, and we have some strong ones. Like C9s, like Dignitas, like Wildcards, but I think the GG's bot lane has been quietly making a case for themselves to be one of the better ones in the league. One of the reasons that we see them 15-7, about to move to 16-7 in our standings.
That's what I said. I feel like Golden Guardians, just as a team, as a whole unit, are a dark horse in our league. Not a lot of people gave them enough attention, and they are on the precipice of taking 3rd place for themselves if they can pick up a 2-0 here. Chasing down EGC, a team that had been talked about a lot. A lot of high praise had been given to the squad. Yet they are under the 50% mark in win rate. Losing here their turrets mid lane against Golden Guardians Challengers, as they can't really do anything to fight back.
They need LDRs. LDRs for both Tristana and the Jinx. That's going to be a while as GG continue to try and take the map. Ryoma barely able to sneak away from that dredge line. And Dragon's on the table whenever Golden Guardians wants it, but I like the fact they have Baron. They're trying to play through the lanes, trying to get some more objectives for themselves. We haven't engaged.
They got a lot of damage onto Prismal. The rocket connects. They get the one kill, but look at how Soul is in the back line. He's the one getting the attention, trying to dash away. They get the butcher shot on Young, but Soul falls. Double kill for Array, and it's going to be a triple kill for Zeri. Mobility, Smoothie, the bot lane still alive. They want to chase this one, but they want the game instead. Concept the whole time was taking 2 Nexus turrets. The game will be picked up by Golden Guardians Challengers as they make easy work out of EGC here in Game 1. Even try to pad the KDA at the very end as they do lose Rosethorn to the excited mobility. That actually might have bit off a little bit more than they can do. We
have a TP from Ryoma.
They do have a TP from Ryoma. 10 seconds up until
there's a ping. Look at the ping. Look at the ping. Ryoma's going to TP when he spawns there. If he's able to get there in time, if they want to pull the trigger. But no, they're just going to use the Baron power recalls.
They can't. There's no way.
Do we still see a TP for them to maybe take this dragon? Because they didn't see them exit over wards, but they had both entrances covered. So I will say Golden Guardians overplaying their hand just a little bit here, but it is a 10k gold lead. And they still have EG stuck in their base as both carries need LDRs to do anything to this Scion. And Golden Guardians, again, they're playing behind these meatballs really nicely. Jinx Tristana can't get anything done, and the front line, they're just winning the war of attrition.
When you have a Scion that has more gold than your mid laner does, things aren't going too well. You're not cutting through that Scion anytime soon. That LDR is not going to be completed. this game is looking nigh impossible if you're EGC.
And again, for Golden Guardians, I mean, I think that Prismal on Engage has been so good for this team. I know that I always saw Prismal have a moment earlier, but also see some really good moments from Prismal. And he was always a player at Marksman that was going to take risks. And seeing him transition that to support when everyone credited him as a Marksman for having those leadership skills, has been really good. Prismal, I know from talking with him, he feels like he can be one of the stronger supports in the league and play at that next level. Seeing Prismal continue to take those steps with Array, as both of them have really been improving this split, really good to see.
Glad you talked about Prismal, because, again, a player that a lot of people have praised for a while with his shot calling, with how he's transitioned. Yeah. There's a reason why that we continue to do that, as now he dives into the backline with a nice flash of the wall to make sure they can set up a potential kill onto Shaden for Array to be unstoppable, even if they got Rosalind to go golden, and same with Young. They're pounding everyone around. They've got the kills, and they've got the knock-up onto mobility. It's a double kill for Array, flashing forward too at the fountain, looking for Ryoma with the pull back in. Triple kill for Array, as Golden Guardians Challengers this time should be able to end the game, since there is only a support standing in the fountain. Game 1 for Golden Guardians Challengers.
Plenty of frontline for Array to sit and fire behind as he picks up another triple kill in the game. And Golden Guardians, they pick up a sound game 1 as this team, I mean, you pitched it, Mad Magical. You feel like they're a dark horse in the league. When are we going to start putting respect on Golden Guardians? They might be one of the front runners in the league, because that's what it says right now in the standings and with the play I'm seeing on the Rift.
Hey, they pick up a 2-0 here. They're third place in the league. Just saying that right now. This team really is shocking a lot, and I think needs more respect.
Yes,
we continue to see them play very well.
I agree. I think that the way that this team is able to play through bot lane, Array and Prismal are a real threat in the league. Young and a rookie split has been one of the better mid laners that we've had in the league, playing his style, which is playing hella aggressive. He is able to go forward on champs like the Aurelia, the Zoe. This guy is not scared of anything. It's really fun to watch. Golden Guardians are playing good as a team. See if they can pick up the 2-0 here.
Well, they pick up the first game. We got to toss it over to a break. We'll bring back Mazel for our last halftime show of the day, so make sure you stay tuned.